Call the meeting to order. If you'll join me in a pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Bahina. Young.
Here.
Dilling.
Here.
Neighbors.
Here.
Bone.
Here.
Doyle.
Here.
Adrianson.
Here. Okay. First item on the agenda, we have Aiden Casey here. Aiden progressed through 5 ranks in Scouting America on his journey to Eagle Scout, developing leadership, outdoor service, life skills along the way. Beginning with Scout rank, he learned the Scout oath, law, motto, and slogan. As he advanced through tenderfoot, second class, first class, he gained experience in camping, first aid, hiking, navigation, swimming, safety, outdoor cooking, environmental stewardship, meal planning, and service. At the Star and Life ranks, Aiden expanded his leadership responsibilities, completed community service, earned merit badges, and mentored younger scouts while continuing strengthening his scouting skills. To achieve the rank of Eagle Scout, Aiden planned and completed an Eagle Scout service project, which required developing a detailed proposal, coordinating fundraising, managing volunteers, documenting hours, and completing final project reporting. He also fulfilled the requirements of an Eagle Scout application, including obtaining 6 letters of recommendation, earning at least 21 merit badges, 37 in total, including all 14 required for Eagle Scout, documenting leadership positions and honors, writing a statement of ambition and life purpose, participating in a Scoutmaster conference, and appearing before an Eagle Board of Review. On December 8th, 2025, Aiden was officially awarded the rank of Eagle Scout by the Rainbow Council Eagle Board of Review. So congratulations to Aiden Casey.
Okay, mic is working. Wonderful. First of all, I want to thank everyone for inviting me and this celebration, this congratulation. I really appreciate it. The journey through scouting is not an easy one. It starts when I was just going into first grade through the Cub Scout program here in Manhattan, and then all the way up through just before my senior year of high school is when my project was done and all of the requirements have been fulfilled. So it's been a long journey. It's been 2/3 of my life at this point, and I could not have asked for a better time. I'm so thankful for my troop, for my leaders, for the adults around me, and for the scouts around me for helping me through this journey. My Eagle Scout project consisted of an instrument storage unit for the Wilson Creek general music teacher, Mrs. Miller Amato. It had 3 shelves with an incline so the students could see what musical instruments were stored. And it was supposed to help maintain classroom order and some discipline if needed. It followed the general aesthetics of a first grade and kindergarten music classroom with a bunch of bright colors. And it's so powerful to be able to contribute something to this community, especially for a music educator. Being myself going to be a future music educator, it's so great to be able to contribute to the new generation of musicians that we are going to be raising through this town. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Congratulations again. Okay, next item, we have Alec Weiss from Polko for a resident survey presentation.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll go ahead and share my screen and get started here. So Mayor, trustees, staff, appreciate you having me this afternoon to present. My name is Alec Weiss. Like you mentioned with Polko, I'm Polko's Director of Account Management and also Regional Account Manager for the Midwest. So I work with communities such as yourselves all across the Midwest to do strategic planning, comprehensive planning, administer surveys, and do budget engagement as well. So appreciate it. Diving into a little bit about Polko, brief background about us. So we are the nation's largest provider of community surveys coast to coast. So we work with about 500 communities every couple of years or so to administer their community surveys, employee surveys, and then topical surveys as well. So aging surveys, parks and rec surveys, that sort of thing. So in looking who we serve, coast to coast, so communities in your area as well. So just a couple of them here from Palo Alto in California, Coral Gables in Florida, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and then Arlington Heights or Naperville, closer into your own neck of the woods. What that allows you to do actually is compare where you sit, where the village, the township, the level of services sit compared to those communities. Rather than just being able to compare against yourself, you can compare and benchmark against communities that are like you in a number of different ways. I mentioned the regionality. I think that's the most interesting potentially, but you can also do economic factors, so household income, persons in poverty, growth rate, population density, all of those sort of things to see where your results stack up. And then, like I mentioned, probably the most compelling factor is being able to compare against yourself over time as well. Diving into use cases, my understanding of the village use case would be comparable to what most of those communities I just mentioned that they're doing. So what we'll do in, call it year zero of either a comprehensive plan or a strategic planning cycle, we'll establish that baseline. So I imagine as trustees, you have a lot of real world data points that you're looking at and pointing to for your comprehensive plan. What we can do is bring alongside that comparative sentiment data. And so if you're looking at safety, you can see, okay, where do we rank? Where do we stack up? What are we focused on? But then how does the community feel about that? And so does that actually match? Is there a perception issue, or is this a real underlying issue that we want to focus on and point dollars towards? And so as you're creating your plan, you can view both of those things side by side, call that like year zero. And so establish a baseline for that, and then plan accordingly through budgeting cycles as well, and then reestablish if you're headed in the right direction. Most commonly, this is done every 2 years, can be done every year, can be done every 3 years, every 4 years. I believe in this case, it maybe makes the most sense to do every 3 years, which is the direction that we're headed. And so we can measure in year zero, and then again in 3 years, we can revisit this, see did we move on the factors that we were looking to move on in both sentiment and in the comprehensive plan as well. Diving into the process of administering the survey itself. So this won't be our most commonly implemented survey is the National Community Survey. This won't be the National Community Survey. This will be the Manhattan Custom Community Survey, but we can certainly derive some aspects of the NCS, the National Community Survey, and then push that into your custom community survey. What we measure is the 10 facets of livability. So these will correlate specifically to the different taxing bodies that are coming alongside to help administer this survey. So each group will be able to compile their own questions. We'll come up with a 5-page questionnaire. So that'll be custom questions. If there are applicable questions from the National Community Survey that you want to bring in, those can be included. And then we're going to overlay about a page of demographic questions on top of that. What that will allow us to do is see our different groups of the community responding to these questions differently. So housing tenure, housing type, age, income, all of that. So we can overlay that on top of the results and on top of the questions to be able to dive a little bit deeper. So that'll be a 5-page instrument, like I mentioned. And then for administering the survey itself, it's going to be a 4-part outreach method for the households that we select. So every household in Manhattan is going to have a known and equal chance to be selected to be a part of that survey. And of those, 3,000 will be selected. For those 3,000 households, like I mentioned, 4 parts. The first is going to be a text message. So we'll message all phone numbers that we can tie to those households. They'll just give a little bit of background about the survey itself, and then they can take it right then and there. Otherwise, it will alert them that a postcard reminder is going to come to them in about a week. And then all those 3,000 households, a week later, they're going to receive a postcard invitation. I'll show you an example of what that looks like in a little bit. That's customizable to fit your language and your needs, but that's going to have a unique QR code, URL, it's going to look like it's coming from the different taxing bodies that are involved in this project. So not from us. It won't look like it's coming from Polko. And then about a week after that, every resident who's selected or every household who's selected is going to receive a mailed survey packet. And so that's posted paid return. It is the entire survey. And so folks can take that if they would prefer to take it a paper survey, that they can certainly do so and then mail it back. Usually we see about a 50-50 in terms of response rate, 50% wanting to take it online, 50% of folks then taking the paper survey. So certainly important that we message that out. And then finally, the last piece is going to be a text message at the end. And so that'll be the fourth piece. Just a reminder, if you haven't had a chance to take the survey, please do go take the survey before time is up. We'll dive into timeline a little bit in a minute, but those are going to be the four pieces in terms of outreach. So for the survey development itself, this is going to be a little bit extended. Here we have it's weeks 1 through 7. We're giving ourselves a little bit of extra time since we're working in conjunction with other taxing bodies on this. And so since there's multiple organizations providing questions, we're going to extend this, assuming that we move forward with this project roughly this week. Then we'll meet starting in a week or two to start implementing these questions, crafting these questions through 3 meetings with every body that we're looking to gather. We'll refine the questions, make sure that there's no overlap, create the instrument, and then it should be ready by mid-August. The survey itself, then, that's data collection. That'll be open from mid-August into the end of September. And then once that's rolled up, we'll have a report of results in hand for everyone in October in order for comprehensive planning and strategic planning decisions so they can be made at that time. In terms of how we'll actually sample, I mentioned those 4,000 households. It sounds like the plan would be to measure through the township. I list this example. This is Papillion, Nebraska. They have a very uniquely shaped municipality. So obviously the township of Manhattan, much more square, much more simple, but we can also break this down by sub areas. So if we're interested in seeing what the east side of the township or different parts of the village, how those responses vary, we can certainly do that. I mentioned the demographic questions earlier, and so that allows us to see everything by sub-geographic and then sub-demographic breakdowns. So that is available to you. Don't have to decide that today, but just know that is available when we take a look at the reported results. In terms of the mailing materials, these are customizable, but this is just an example. Here we're looking at Battle Creek, Michigan. And so we'll have your QR code here, and then the different logos of the taxing bodies that we're working with here. And like I mentioned, postage paid return, any applicable translations, that sort of thing will be fitted here. And then just a couple examples. I'll actually switch over to a full example of the reported results, but just so you can see some of what the tables will look like. It'll be a PDF, usually ranging from 50 to 250 pages of information. What's nice is it's very customizable, as the name implies. So if there are different views, different breakdowns of questions that you'd like to see, we can certainly add those to the report. And so this is just one example here. This is sources of information by year. We're looking at, this is Edina, Minnesota. And so you can see just word of mouth or the monthly newsletter. How has that changed over time? Where are folks getting their information from? Another example would be Parks and Rec. And so you can see where you actually compare against those other communities that I mentioned earlier. So how many communities have asked that question? Where you compare in that rank, and then the benchmark comparison too. So are you similar, lower, higher, much higher than the other communities? And then again, we can customize this too. So this is just the national benchmark. But if there's, call it like 5 to 30 like communities within our data set that you're interested in comparing your data to, that will also live here, and you'll be able to check that out. And then just jumping over, just wanted to show a little bit about what the reported results would look like. Every question is going to have a couple pages, so you'll be able to see trend lines over time, and then the different groups who responded, what those breakdowns look like, breakdowns by year, that sort of thing. And I'll pause there. Happy to answer any questions about the process. Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions? When he was referring to the strategic planning, the school district is doing strategic planning, and they're actually waiting for this so that they can move forward with theirs after they get the results of the survey. So that's one of the taxing bodies that's participating. Any questions?
I know that he mentioned 3,000 homes would receive the survey, and it's going to be generated through the phone numbers. Like, how are they actually going to select the households?
So we are taking the entire Manhattan Township boundaries. We are going to randomly select 3,000 households in that entire boundary. Those homes are going to then get the information the 4 different ways, the 4 different types of communication. Now let's say that you get it and someone else in your household still wants to participate. The other person in the household will be able to participate. There'll be an open enrollment section, and they will have their results put in a different bucket, so it doesn't skew the results of the 3,000 people. Here's why we were concerned. Let's say that everybody in the northeast corner of Manhattan fills out the survey. It may skew the results for the folks that may live in another part of Manhattan. So that's why we want to make sure that all the different subdivisions are included, that we can pick homes throughout the entire township boundaries, including unincorporated areas, so that folks from the Park District, Library, Township, all the others that are involved. But everyone will have a chance to participate, but those 3,000 households will be targeted based on geographic boundary. We talked to Mark about it, and we're going to make sure that we hit all the different subdivisions within the boundaries. Does that help? Oh, yeah, thanks. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Okay, Alec, thank you so much.
All right, thank you all. I appreciate it.
All right. So thank you for that. Next presentation is for VC3 IT Services presentation from Randy Allen from VC3. Hopefully he can figure that out. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, I think that's working. Okay. Oh. You see my stormtroopers. I didn't want that. Well, Rosemaria knows that I am a sci-fi fan. I just saw William Shatner for my birthday, so yeah. Anyway, so I appreciate you guys having us out here to talk about VC3 and what we do in the municipal space. And today what I want to do is kind of go over introductions, let you know a little bit about me personally, my role in this space, give you an overview of this, the discovery summary, our solution recommendation and overview, and then finally the financials that go along with that. First of all, I was lucky enough to run into Justin at the BSNA conference last October in North Carolina at Charlotte, and we are partners with BSNA and have been since the late 90s. And so, you know, upon finding out that your village uses BSNA, that got us talking, and that led to other conversations, and then eventually Rosemaria came in, and we discussed things at length from there. I have been in the IT space after I got out of the military. I was in the Army for 8 years, jumping out of airplanes, but that translated to nothing in the civilian world. So when I got out, I became a Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer, A+ certified, and also a former business owner. I've been in the municipal IT space since April 2nd of 2007. So from 2007 till today, all I've done is IT for villages, townships, counties, towns, and so forth. So a lot of experience, a lot of police, a lot of fire, and as we go through this, you'll see that we're CJIS compliant and so forth. So, sir, you'll get all the paperwork ahead of time before we come out here, so that you can see that all the technicians that are either remotely or on-site working are going to, you know, be CJIS compliant and so forth. So our average client tenure is over 11 years. We're endorsed by several different state level leagues, and we serve more than 1,000 different municipalities from coast to coast. Our costs are nice and round, and without any gotchas, with kind of an all-you-can-eat buffet of services. We are CJIS compliant as a group. You're not allowed to be part of VC3 without being a CJIS compliant technician. And we have a true live 24/7, 365 service. That's actually a real separator between us and the average bear. Most companies aren't a full 24/7 staff, meaning that if they say that they're 24/7, either it's an on-call situation or they're subletting that to a third-party company that they don't control. With us, VC3 never turns the lights off. We are a true 24/7 operation. So if one of the police officers has an issue at 2 in the morning, we want them calling us at 2 in the morning because we can jump on and help them. Our average call response time is less than 2 business minutes before you're connected with the technician. So right around 90 seconds. With a CJIS compliant technician that's used to working with the in-car MDCs, MDTs, things like that. So that's something we're very proud of, is having that real live 24/7 security operation and network operation as well. So we're monitoring your machines, we're patching them in the middle of the night, we're making sure we don't crash your SCADA systems. So we've already talked about that. And so we'll make sure that we actually field test our patching we sandbox our patching over a 5 to 6 day period to make sure that they're A, not going to crash systems, but B, and equally as important, they're not going to introduce new security holes into your network. Even Microsoft has historically released patches that have opened a security vulnerability the very next day. So we're very careful about that process, and we have a team dedicated to that. With a staff of more than 800 people, we've got people that are dedicated to individual pieces of the company, whether that's backup, and restoration, disaster recovery team that's doing test backups for you on a regular basis, doing test restores, writing your disaster recovery plan for you, things like that. Or if it's the help desk, that's their own operation. The field services team is also their own operation. They all operate intimately with each other. Communication is a big deal within VC3, but we have people dedicated to their jobs so they become masters of their craft rather than wearing several different hats, which is common for smaller MSPs. You'll see that we're partners with the National League of Cities, and then several other state level leagues to include California, Georgia, Iowa. I listed BSNA there because that's relevant to your situation. Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin, and I am in talks with the Illinois Municipal League right now, actually. They're looking for some potential assistance in a co-managed capacity where we might be able to help them out. So we're considering working with them in the near future. Discovery results. We had learned that you used Duratech, which then was absorbed by Leading IT, and after that I think there were a few issues, and it caused some concerns. And the 3 top concerns that we noted was the deteriorating support and the quality of the support, the cost escalation, the overall cyber risk based on our assessment, and we could not find any evidence, and that maybe they are, so I'm not saying they're not, but I could not find any evidence that they were CJIS compliant as an organization, and unclear technology roadmap with a lack of overall strategic alignment. So we wanted to clean that up for the village. We noted a few key metrics here on this slide. And then moving forward, our overall findings was that we see that there's still some access to the PD server that we would like to shut down and lock down to create better security. There's some password improvements that we need to make. We need to lock down everything with 2-factor authentication. This is a big one, because if you don't have 2-factor authentication around the horn, around the whole organization, you don't have security. And any IT person worth their salt would say that. Okay, so if that's going to be job one as soon as we start working here. And then the backup, we are Datto partners, and so we're going to take over the backup situation and start monitoring and managing that. So this is, again, just an overview of where the challenge was as far as the costs increase. You can see the costs went from somewhere just under $5,000 a month to almost $10,000 a month, a 94% increase without a corresponding increase in service levels. So obviously, Rosemaria had to get out there and figure something out based on that. And so we're going to be able to bring in a predictable plan that's priced monthly that actually grows or shrinks to fit. So we won't bill you a single penny more than what the value of the contract is. So for instance, if we start next month, but something happens and you shrink by 2 employees, the price shrinks accordingly, okay? So it's designed to fit your actual size. And we do 3, 4, and 5-year plans, and I've even created some incentives based on that for the village. And then, of course, we have rapid response times moving on, service or SLA level 1 emergencies like server down, network down, within 2 hours of that event, 90 seconds on the phone. So the cyber risk and the CJIS compliance, we could not verify that they were CJIS compliant. Again, they may be, so I'm not saying that they aren't. But VC3 is bringing in a CJIS certified, department as a whole that's going to be able to serve the police department in full compliance. As a matter of fact, we do compliancy as a service, so we actually help police become CJIS compliant if they're struggling. And in the realm of manufacturing, we do CMMC compliance, which is if you want to do any business with the Department of Defense, like the military, and you need to reach a certain level of DoD security compliance, we help organizations do that as well. And then technology roadmap, we're going to be assigning a strategic advisor and a customer relationship manager to the village. So those are 2 different entities that's going to work closely with Rosemaria and Justin to make sure that we're comprehensively addressing all of your concerns as a business, and, from a business standpoint. So we really want you to bring your top 5, your top 10 concerns for the Village of Manhattan to us. We're going to bring our reports to you, and we're going to collaborate, and we're going to decide what's important. And then once we do that, we're going to develop a strategic timeline, plot those out on the timeline, and then we're going, Rosemaria is going to hold her feet to the fire and make sure that we're following that timeline and achieving all of those goals in a regular, organized fashion. One of the things that VC3 that really sets us apart is not only do we have traditional MSP services, but we're also an MSSP, or Managed Security Service Provider, so we're bringing all those cybersecurity services in-house as well. And then lastly, we also have a programming element to our company. So if there is something that the village is visualizing and you're like, I have this great idea, but I don't know how to get it done. You can reach out to VC3, we can bring in our application development team, and we can help you build something custom from the ground up. I'm actually working with a group of notaries, Rosemaria from the Michigan Notary Association. They want to create a program that helps validate the notary stamps with a database that validates that on the back end, and we're in early talks about developing that for them. So we can do those sorts of things as well, to include AI programs like a council meetings assistant that can transcribe your meetings and also go back through all of your old meetings, as far back as they're documented, and create think of it like a ChatGPT style environment that's secure and safe, that is not accessible from the outside world, but it would gather all of your council meeting minutes, going back decades, and you would be able to make queries and ask, when did the board address this kind of situation? Or, who in the community had concerns about the data center that's going in next door, things like that. And it could come back and give you conversational answers. So our solution for you is the VC3 Managed program, which gives you an all-you-can-eat buffet of 24/7, 365 remote and on-site support. We'll proactively be patching your systems using that sandbox technique that I mentioned earlier, making sure that we're not dropping anything. You're going to be assigned a strategic advisor and a customer relationship manager that's going to work with you on a regular basis to make sure that all the trains are running on time for the village. We also do vendor coordination. This is actually a pretty big one. So we will work with all the different vendors, SCADA as an example, where we're going to become, primary contacts for all of the vendors of the village. That way when an issue happens, rather than you calling that vendor to address it, you call VC3, we'll step in and mitigate that for you because we speak the same geeky language that they do. So it saves you that step, and it saves finger pointing. And then, of course, hardware and software procurement, we have access to all the Fortune 500 companies, so Ingram Micro, Tech Data, Synnex, D&H, Dell Government, HP Government, CDWG. We can go out there and get those quotes. So if the board tasks Rosemaria with getting 3 quotes for laptops, for instance, rather than running down 3 companies, she can come to VC3 and say, can you go get those 3 quotes from 3 different vendors for us? And we can do that. And then bring you back 3 different prices of the same spec machine. And then over on the right, you'll see all the different layers of security that we're going to bring to bear. The best-in-class endpoint detection and response, and when I say that, I mean best in the nation, endpoint detection and response. Dark web monitoring, security awareness training for all your staff on an ongoing basis. Cisco-level DNS security protection to make sure that the web browsing within the organization is safe and secure and locked down. The MFA that I mentioned before, we're even going to be able to provide identity threat protection. What this means is, let's say a bad actor actually gets a hold of your credentials. They have your login, they have your password. We can still stop them. We can still identify that they're not you using location awareness techniques. And so that'll be in place. My understanding is you guys are a Microsoft 365 operation, so we are a Microsoft 365 Tier 1 partner with the government, and so we're going to be able to step in and manage those accounts right away. I worked with Justin to make sure that that's going to be passed through as far as the costs go, so they just flow right through to Microsoft. We don't make a penny off of that relationship. We back up the Microsoft environment for the village 3 times a day, every day. And that goes a full 10 years. So you will have constant backups done there. And then, of course, you're going to have direct-to-cloud server backups. We have SOC 2 certified data centers in Atlanta, Georgia, and Las Vegas, Nevada, where that data will be. So even if you have an area disaster here, we've got it in separate parts of the country. And that are also CJIS compliant as far as data centers go. So this gives a good visual example of the security that we're talking about. The reason why I like this visual example is it gets you thinking about like your home security. 20 years ago, a locked door and a fence got the job done, but today we need, sensors on our windows. We need security cameras in place. We need a neighborhood watch. So too is the case for cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is all about layers, all about perimeter security. It's kind of like when I was in the Army. We never set one perimeter and if the bad guys get through, I guess they're in. There's always multiple perimeters. The same is true in law enforcement, right? So it's no different for cybersecurity. We want to create as many layers as we can to protect the village without slowing down the business operation of the village. The last thing I want to do is make the network unusable. So we have to strike that balance between user friendliness and security, because those 2 things are inversely related. And this graphic also gives a little bit better example of what I'm talking about. What was required in security back in 2005 versus 2010, and then finally what we're running into today going into 2026. The various aspects that are needed just to say that you're secure are a great deal more. And then again, if you don't have eyes to glass monitoring on a 24/7 basis, then you're getting what you pay for, which isn't a lot. You're getting really expensive after-action review software where you can come in and go, well, this is what happened to you, rather than this is how we stopped it. And I mentioned earlier that we have the ability to help folks meet and exceed compliance standards. This is an example of the process that we go through to help folks with the CJIS compliance. And then this is a quick overview of our backup services. Again, we have rapid recovery. We're able to recover servers in record times when they go down. And we can even recover servers into the cloud if we had an area disaster and there was, for some reason, you could not get into the building. And you're going to have a very large team supporting you. You're going to have the national backing and at the same time have the local presence. 24/7 remote, on-site. You're going to get the strategic guidance from a local municipal expert. So we're not going to give you somebody from Georgia. Okay, we're going to give you somebody from the area that knows how things are here. And then you're going to get, really top-notch cybersecurity team. I would put our cybersecurity team up against any team in the nation. And I don't say that lightly. We've got some of the best when it comes to cybersecurity. They are really, really good. We've got top-tier CISOs or certified security officers on staff. We now have an AI team that's headed up by an AI expert that's just best in this craft. So I'm going to skip ahead to, because this is restating a lot of the things I already said. We're CrowdStrike's Partner of the Year. We are also a partner with Datto. There again is a graphic talking about our experience with Microsoft and being a tier 1 provider. And by the way, that's actually a fairly rare thing. There's a lot of people that sell Microsoft services, but they go through middlemen. They have to go through CDW or HP or Dell. We don't. We actually bypass the first 3 layers of Microsoft support. If we have an issue, we go straight to the government guys. There's no middleman between us and Microsoft. So we're a tier 1 provider. And as I said before, we have a programming team that can pretty much make anything sing and dance for you as far as if you have an idea that you want built from the ground up, we can do that. Onboarding, it's typically 6 to 8 weeks from date the contract is signed. We have a dedicated onboarding team that travels the country, so you will get the same white glove experience that a city in California gets or on the East Coast or what have you. So it's a dedicated team that comes in and creates that template. And really, this is an area that I think a lot of companies in our space, they gloss over. They'll go, oh, we'll do onboarding for free. And a lot of communities will go, oh man, that's great. You're saving us some money. That's actually a red flag. It's a huge red flag. Because what they do is they rush in, they roll out their software real quick, and they just rush out and go, okay, call when something happens. And it's a rocky relationship, it's sticky, and within the first, that honeymoon period is over really quick. With us, we take the time to document everything, to train all of your end users on how to work best with us to get the best possible support. We make diagrams of everything, we get all the passwords, we get connected to all the vendors. We do all of those things and get it all in place, and then we say, now we're good. And then we start, and you have a nice, smooth selling experience with us. We're very proud of our team of onboarders. And this is the overall deal. I think you need to give Rosemary a raise or something, because she worked hard on me there. She and Justin, the two of them, they made sure that they got the best possible deal for me. And so overall, we knocked our services down 10% across the board. I broke them out so that you could see that some of those fees are just pass-through services with Microsoft that you're already paying. So for instance, the $548.24 is what you're already paying today with Microsoft. There is a slight increase in the Microsoft costs because we're going to get you MFA or two-factor authenticated around the village, and that is going to change your licensing a little bit. I broke out the backup services and the regular monthly services, but it all comes up to $7,071.21 with an onboarding that has now been reduced to $73,50.37, and then the one-time initial MFA project of $45.72 brings a grand total of $11,923.12. But if we do a 3-year agreement, we're going to knock over $7,000 off. If it's a 4-year agreement, we're going to knock over $14,000 off, which would cover your onboarding costs. 5-year agreement would do $21,213. We have a 30-day out built into our contract so that if we're not fulfilling our end of the bargain, you have the ability to walk away, and since everything's billed monthly, you're only paying for the services that you use. You're not paying for unused services or anything like that. And so, yeah, that's everything about BC3. I'm happy to entertain any questions that the board might have.
I just want to explain this. I know we used a lot of acronyms, but the CGIS that he kept talking about is the Criminal Justice Information Systems qualifications. So all of his staff are CJIS compliant, and some of the vendors that we talked to didn't even know what CJIS was. So this really is a benefit for our police department as well. And Jeff has taken some time to negotiate with them on the final contract. So we're pretty close to being wrapped up with that as well. But I want to thank Justin, Chief Gully, Joe Williams, for all their help and all the different meetings we had that I outlined with all of you in our individual meetings. So are there any questions? Okay, thank you, Randy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No public comments, right? All right, so first item, the consent agenda consists of May 5th, 2026 Village Board meeting minutes, approval of May 21st, 2026 bills list, approval of June 2nd, 2026 bills list, and a resolution authorizing the use of Route 52 and Manhattan Mooney Road on Monday, September 7th for the Labor Day Parade. So if anyone would like anything pulled from the consent agenda, we can discuss it further. If not, looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Young,
Yes.
Dilling.
Yep.
Neighbors,
Yes.
Bone,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. First item under new business is the, to approve a resolution authorizing an agreement with Polco to conduct a community survey for a total cost of $27,900. This is going to be shared amongst all 6 taxing bodies, which is the park, library, the fire department, the Manhattan Township, and Manhattan School District 114. So individually, it would be not to exceed $5,000 per taxing body group. So just to be clear on that. Any questions on that? If not, looking for a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Dilling,
Yes.
Neighbors,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next item under new business is a motion to approve a resolution authorizing execution of an agreement with a new IT provider for IT services and Microsoft licenses for monthly cost of $7,071.21 and a one-time onboarding cost of $11,923.12. And this will be pending final review and approval of the contract from our legal village attorney. So the village currently spends about $10,000 a year, I'm sorry, $10,000 a month on IT services. So this is going to be generating some savings. A 2-month service abatement for a 4-year agreement. We end up saving the money for the onboarding anyway. So it sounds like a good deal. If anyone has any more questions, or Randy's still here. If not, looking for a motion to approve.
Motion. Second.
Okay, roll call.
Neighbors,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Dilling,
Okay, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing the purchase and outfitting of one 2026 Ford Police Interceptor vehicle. On March 19, 2026, this squad was struck by a DUI driver while assisting a stranded motorist. It was declared a total loss, deemed unsafe for police use due to significant body and frame damage. We are working with the insurance companies to recover the cost of this vehicle, but it's a needed vehicle to be put back in service. So the total estimated replacement cost for the new vehicle with the outfitting and all the graphics that were on it is $61,747.15. This is also our drone unit, and the drone was in the back, but they took care of it. They recertified it all, and it's in good condition. So we didn't lose that, thankfully. So looking for a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the purchase and outfitting of one 2026 Ford Police Interceptor vehicle from Curry Motors in the amount of $345, outfitting from Public Safety Direct in the amount of $15,191.95, and graphic from Element Graphics and Design in the amount of $1,210.20 for a total cost of $61,747.15.
Motion.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Boone,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Dilling,
Yep.
Neighbors.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. John's wearing blue, so. Next item on the agenda is authorizing the purchase of a new Kubota compact skid steer. Currently, the skid steer that they have has 2,600 engine hours on it with increasing maintenance and reliability issues. It also has wheels on it. The new one has rubber tracks on it, so it's less impactful to, turf or ground or even asphalt. You get skid marks all over. So this is a Bobcat, I'm sorry, this new skid steer is the existing one was a 2014. That's, you're gonna keep that as just a backup though, right? All right. So, looking for a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the purchase of a new Kubota compact skid steer from McCullough Implement Company in the amount of $68,236.30. Any questions about that? You get, the tracks are like the rubber tracks?
I understand it, yeah.
Yeah.
Motion. Second.
Roll call?
Doyle,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Dilling,
Yep.
Neighbors,
Yes.
Boone.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. That piece of equipment is something that you pretty much use every day, isn't it? I mean, for all sorts of stuff, tree removal, everything, yeah. I forgot to say that.
Yeah, like I said, and there's a lot of times we have to put a project on hold because the machine's being used for a different project, so this way it gives us flexibility to be able to do two different projects throughout the same day.
Thanks. All right. Next item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing amendment number 1 from Strand Associates for the wastewater treatment plant design updates. Part of the project scope, Strand Associates completed a code review, coordinated with the authority having jurisdiction, and prepared a summary letter identifying required design updates. The finalized letter submitted May 6, 2026 determined code-related design updates would require approximately $123,000 in authorized services, which is higher than what we already approved at a previous meeting. We approved $75,000. This is going to have to go up to $123,000 due to the code improvements that are going to have to be updated in the plans. Since it's been a few years, I think it's been since we originally did it. So, anyone have any questions on that? Dan is here from Strand, if anyone had any questions. But we're looking to increase the amount from 75 to 123. All right, so looking for a motion to approve a resolution authorizing amendment number 1 from Strand Associates for the wastewater treatment plant, design updates in the amount of $123,000.
Motion. Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Young,
Yeah.
Dilling,
Yep.
Neighbors,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Doyle.
Yeah.
Okay, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a peer review for the wastewater project, but we're gonna look for a motion to table this because there's some concerns with the IEPA funding that we were supposed to be in line to get. So I think you're still working on that. If it's gonna hopefully come through, just right now, it's not happening right now. So we're looking for a motion to table the peer review until further.
Motion.
Second.
All right, roll call, please.
Dilling.
Yep.
Neighbors.
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Doyle.
Yeah.
Young.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is an ordinance amending the terms of the members of the Planning and Zoning Commission, as well as removal process for the same in the Village of Manhattan Code. The amendment will reduce Planning and Zoning Commission member terms from 4 years to 2 years, with the change taking effect whenever the terms expire. The goal is to encourage more residents to serve by reducing the length of the commitment of a 4-year term. The proposed ordinance would also eliminate a public hearing that's required for removing a planning commission member, and was unanimously recommended for approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission themselves. So, anyone have any questions? Looking for a motion to approve an ordinance amending terms of members of the Planning and Zoning Commission, as well as the removal process for the same in the Village of Manhattan Code.
Motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Neighbors,
Yes.
Boone,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Bahina's absent. Young,
Yes.
Dilling.
Yep.
Okay, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a resolution authorizing execution of an agreement with Russ Scholl. He's an artist and independent contractor, looking to put a mural on the side of the old Village Hall building. It's going to be roughly 40 feet by 14 foot tall on the south-facing wall of the Manhattan Historical Society building, to create an engaging attraction to promote the village and encourages visitors to explore downtown, and provides a photo destination highlighting community pride and local identity. The total project is $11,100, with funded through remaining Route 66 Centennial Grant. We have $7,700 in funds for that, so the village would have to, the village funds would be $3,400 to get this accomplished. He would perform the work. Hopefully, the goal would be to get it completed by the 4th of July, since it's the 250th anniversary of America. It's also the 140th anniversary of Manhattan, so it would be nice to get that on there for that. So looking for a motion to approve a resolution authorizing execution of an agreement with Russ Scholl, independent contractor, for 255 South State mural, in the amount of $11,100, subject to special use permit approval by the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Village Board.
Mayor Mike, may I ask, how long will this mural last? Like how,
He says 10 years or longer, because he's gonna use an automotive finish and clear coat on aluminum panels, and then attach them to the stucco wall. Because right now with the stucco breaking apart, he didn't feel comfortable painting it on that. I don't think we had 2 different artists look at it, and they just said that it would only last, within the 2 years, it'd start peeling and stuff.
so it's actually going to be painted on something and
Aluminum,
then put
yeah.
on?
And then it's gonna be fastened to the stucco with like a 1x6 furring strip.
The main base color, primer, zinc chromate, because it's aluminum.
Yeah, it comes primed, the panels.
They're going to put base primer and then automotive paint.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
These 2 coats are clear?
Yep.
Okay.
So, what else was there? And then, the outside of the building, because they did the bay window and stuff, Public Works was gonna repaint the front of the Historical Society building, because the colors are kind of outdated. I shouldn't say that with the Historical Society, but, they're kind of outdated, so, the artist suggested a couple of colors. They're like a grayish colored stuff, so unless anyone's particular about the color they want, we talked to John, but,
How they talking to you?
yeah. So, yeah, it should look nice down there. I mean, this is something that maybe people come down there and take a picture of. And majority of it's funded through a grant, so that's good news. Maybe a bench in the future. Yeah, I think Public Works is gonna construct some wood on the side ledge there for a sitting area.
So yeah, so like the mayor just said, there's some cement there right now. We're gonna kind of box that out and put a bench like right in the middle, so you can walk up to it and sit down, and you'll be just like at level with, a little bit lower than the mural, so when you sit there, you'll see the mural behind you.
And for the public, I have a kind of rough draft. It's not color, but if you guys wanted to look at it, the board already seen it, I think so. Yeah. Okay, so looking for a motion to approve.
Motion?
Second?
Okay, roll call, please.
Boone,
Yes.
Doyle,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Dilling,
Yep.
Neighbors.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. All right, that's it for the regular meeting. I just had to say, talk with Carrie, the crosswalks that we talked about on Route 52, there's 2 of them. The engineering is completed. The lighting that's required by IDOT is very expensive. It's $750,000 to add lighting. So we're gonna skip the lighting part of it, but try to go for the crosswalk. So Robinson Carey is working on permits from IDOT right now. It's just a long process. I mean, this has been over a year, I think, it's just dealing with the state is kind of rough, but hopefully we can get those done with, we're applying for grants. We've spoke to our state rep and our state senator, and IDOT and our lobbyist is all working on getting these funded, because it's about $200,000 for 2 crosswalks to be installed. So with that cost, we don't have that budgeted, so hopefully we can receive some grant funds. The other good news is, just want to thank all the trustees that put in witness slips and were staying on top of that BUILD Act. I mean, behind the scenes, everyone was kind of working on that, even the lobbyist, and I know a lot of other local elected officials were working on that. It did not pass, so that's a good thing. As of right now, Mark still has some control in the zoning department. But I just wanted to say thanks for all that. That's all I got. Justin?
Yeah, so last week we met with the Safety Corridor Steering Committee. We had a couple representatives from the community and then pretty much some sort of leader from one of the municipal tax authorities in town. So it was a good meeting. Farnsworth Group is the ones who are kind of running it. It was the initial meeting really is more about setting benchmark dates, kind of trying to identify where we thought there were some pain points in town for safety, right? Like where it's unsafe to cross. Obviously, we have a lot of issues on 52. Most of the study is going to be 52 and a little bit of North Street. So it was nice. Like I said, everyone was contributing. I think everyone has pretty much the general idea of like where our pain points are. There's going to be another meeting coming up to the public, which they don't have a firm date on it yet, I don't believe. It's June 23rd, but I think there's some conflicting events in town. So there will be a notification out to the public when we're going to do it, but it'll be open to the community for your guys' input to kind of say, hey, here's what we think are the issues, this is what we'd like to see. But ultimately, it's just starting. There'll be a key stakeholders interview, which is going to be the businesses and whatnot, in July. There'll be an online public engagement survey where everyone can come in, log in, email, submit comments, ask questions. There'll be another online public engagement in October. And then at some point in December, January, the board will get to see a finished study with recommendations of how we can go forward and improve the safety in our downtown corridor. So very general overview. If you have any more questions, please just email me, text me. I can tell you what we talked about.
Did they mention anything, since it was a grant and they're doing the study, that'll put us in a better position if we wanted to implement anything to get another grant?
Yeah, they did say, obviously if you're doing the things right, you're stacking them right, you're going with other municipalities. Yeah, I think we were one of, 6 communities to even get the funding to do this grant, or this study. So they did feel like it was a good chance that we'd get some good return on our investment doing it the right way. So, yeah.
Thank you. Bob? Nothing? And then Jennifer Bahina was not able to make it because her son is graduating 8th grade today, so just want to let her know. Lucinda?
Yes, I appreciate, Chief Gully isn't here, but I'm sure we'll pass the word that how I appreciated that he shared the Springfield post about e-bikes and the electronic mobility in Illinois. And I really appreciate that, but I was just thinking that maybe we could also have like a quick post, maybe understanding the differences of the device categories and the requirements that aren't, something a little bit faster to read, so it's not, a lot of people need like maybe a reminder, like a quick reminder post every now and then too, just to kind of, make everyone aware and keep it fresh. Because not everyone's going to read that every time, and you know how it's long, so maybe like a little condensed version. Like some communities, I know Frankfurt already put one out, and Tinley Park had one similar to just like the almost bullet points. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Clint?
Yeah, I'm glad the 5K and the Pig in the Parking Lot event went pretty well over the weekend. Seemed like it was great weather for that. I was also happy to hear the news about the BUILD Act not making it through for the vote. So another win for us here. And and the Stonegate, so far the residents seem pretty happy about the speed bumps being removed on Nelson Road. The feedback from the removal on Monday is mostly positive. So most were pretty happy to see those going and promised to keep the speeds at the limit. we have noticed less cars on my street, which was one of the 2 ways people were avoiding some of the speed bumps, and then some of my neighbors I've talked to on Whitney, which was the other street people were taking to avoid speed bumps, have also noticed less traffic and less speeds on there too. I know Easter being open also helps, so I think it's hopefully kind of a good trial run that we did, and see if see if this helps curb speeding in the neighborhood going forward.
Thanks. Todd?
Just meeting tonight, meeting our Eagle Scout, I was very, very impressed by him. I made 37 badges, following everything he's done over the years. I'd like to see what he does another 4 or 5 years from now. His parents are gonna be very, very proud of him.
He's a good public speaker too, it seems like.
Yeah, he was right there. Oh, yeah, caught your attention.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of him, that we have somebody like that in our
Yeah.
town. That's it for me, thank you.
Thank you. Rebecca?
I don't have anything.
No? Rose?
I left all of you a copy of a report. I'm starting my 6th month here, and so I thought I'd do a little bit of an update on what we've been doing, what we're going to be doing moving forward. I also wanted to mention, Justin has been working and monitoring some funding opportunities with Congressman Jackson's office. I was looking for the email just now, but we are still in the category for funding, correct? We're one of 20, I believe it is, municipalities, so hopefully we'll get some funding out of Congressman Jackson's office this year as well. And that's it for my report.
Thanks. Mark?
You guys have my monthly building report for April. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
No questions? John?
Just as everyone knows, Eastern Avenue is open right now. There is still some construction bureaus and some staking still out. The bureaus basically are, Robinson's working on a punch list for Eastern Avenue. So instead of removing all the bureaus, they wanted to wait in case they have to lock something back off, bring some more equipment out there. Once they get done with the punch list, everything will be moved out to that. Front Street, the water main's done, so now it's just a matter of cleanup out there. As we know, we're working with Robinson on the parking lot, so we're gonna see how far that comes along, and we try to repave the road as well when they're after all the construction has been on it. I think Carrie, she wants to touch on the MFT first.
I had a question too. Driving by Eastern and Smith, the yellow line only goes like 6 feet, and then it's faded for the turn lane coming, like if you're coming eastbound on Smith. Is that something we have to finish, the stripe? Because
I'll take a look at it tomorrow.
and like that turn arrow, I mean, it was
Okay.
just fading away.
It could be something maybe they missed, but
Okay.
I'll go out and take a look. If we have to, we have some of the paint, we can always paint it.
Yeah, or I was wondering if they could just do it, I don't know,
Sure.
it couldn't cost that much probably, but,
We'll take a look at it.
all right, thanks. Carrie, you want to add anything?
Like John said, so MFT, we're out to bid on the IDOT bulletin that went in the bulletin last week, and then this week, bid opening will be Tuesday. Next week, we'll have it for the board approval at the next meeting, and then you have my monthly report if you have any questions.
Just one thing there, the MFT is gonna cover all of the Leyland Bridge, Carlo and Celtic area.
All right. Thanks. Justin?
Included in the packet was the April 30th unaudited numbers for cash and investments, as well as revenue and expenses. If there are any questions on those, either now or in the coming weeks, I can answer those.
Thank you. Do you have anything?
Nothing, but if you have any questions about the police department's monthly report, you can contact the chief.
He's helping out with the graduation ceremony. There's a lot of officers over there and EMA helping out with the ceremony. So it's a busy night. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? No? So looking for a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.